Meet Oinda Malatinu, the 22-year-old daughter of Nigeria's president. Oh, and by the way, she's officially unemployed. But that hasn't stopped her from splashing out $2.4 million in cash for a luxury condo in Manhattan. How did she do it? Well, through an anonymous LLC, which is just another way of saying she didn't use her real name or provide any details about who she is or where the money came from. And that should set alarm bells ringing in any other country. If the daughter of the president was buying a multi-million-dollar apartment in cash, there would be an investigation. But in the United States of America, land of the free and home of the brave, it's no big deal. Oh, we've checked. The apartment is in her name and she bought it in full. So that should tell you all you need to know about the kind of scrutiny we're talking about here. Welcome to the world's greatest city, New York, where dreams are made of and fortunes are laundered. If you're a kleptocrat with a taste for the finer things in life, it doesn't get much better than this. Just last year, one of her brothers splashed out $10.8 million on a mansion in London. That's a lot of money, but where did it come from? Well, the Financial Times is doing sterling work on this, and they've discovered that the property is linked to a corruption probe that saw $9.1 million seized from a Nigerian bank. So what's the problem here? Well, when you're dealing with politically exposed persons, you have to ask where the money came from. And if it looks like it was stolen or the proceeds of crime, then you have to ask why they were moving it to London or New York or some other Western capital. In most cases, they were laundering the money so they can enjoy it back home without fear of it being seized or, used to fund a lavish lifestyle. But here's the thing. When you're a Western government, it's easy to preach to the rest of the world about the evils of corruption. After all, it makes for great headlines and sound bites. But when you turn a blind eye to the source of the money flowing into your country and you let corrupt elites park their cash in your banks and buy up your real estate, well, then you're part of the problem. And don't get me wrong, there are laws against this kind of thing. You can't just walk into a bank and say I want to open an account and then refuse to tell them who you are or where the money came from. Banks are supposed to ask questions and they're supposed to report suspicious transactions. But let's face it, when you run a multi-million-dollar business and you're moving money around, it's all too easy to slip under the radar. And if the people you're dealing with are politically exposed, well, then it becomes even easier. Meanwhile, the same Western countries are coming down hard on low-level cybercriminals from Nigeria and elsewhere. They're extraditing them and putting them on trial. And yes, cybercrime is bad and should be prosecuted. But when you compare that to the kind of financial crimes we're talking about here, well, it puts things in context. What's the solution? Well, it starts with closing loopholes. Making sure that companies and individuals are held accountable for the source of their money, and making sure that those with the power to prosecute financial crimes are not afraid to use it. As for Oinda, well, she's just getting started. With her new luxury condo, she's snapped up the 37th floor of the swanky 111 West 57th Street. It's the latest addition to the billionaire's row skyscraper and boasts breathtaking views of Central Park. When you're laundering money, it helps to live large. But when you're living large on the proceeds of corruption, well, that's a different matter entirely.